Now, do I think there are people sitting at a desk trying to basically say, we want to control the world, and the best way to do that is to keep people poor and needy and having a crazy lack of knowledge when it comes to finances? The answer is no. But I do think there are people sitting at a desk trying to plan, how do we get the most money out of people's wallets? How do we get better employees? How do we get basically more customers? That's what I think is actually going on. So the reason you're basically broke and poor, in a way, it is because of programming, because at the core level, that is what it is. But it's not to say this video is about, hey, you're a victim, feel sorry for yourself, because there are still ways for you to actually break that cycle. And that is what this video is all about. It's about me telling you, hey, this is what's going on, so you can actually avoid that and do what's actually best for you and your wallet. And by the way, if the system was actually like that, if they really wanted to keep you poor and broke and never knowing anything about money, then you would know that we wouldn't be able to have, for example, access to books about finances, courses on finances, videos like these on finances, okay? But the idea with capitalism, and I am a capitalist, by the way, is that basically there are no favors in this system. As someone that lived in New York, I know that for a fact. You don't get anything for free, ever, for the most part, okay? Everyone is looking out for themselves. So when you see somebody, for example, making a book about finances, it's not because what they say, hey, there's a lack of opportunity out there. There is nothing in the school system. There's nothing in the college system. They say that to market to you, but the idea is they're gonna teach you about money so they can also make money. I make these videos on YouTube. Yes, I'm trying to help. I'm trying to educate. I'm trying to teach. And for the most part, it's free, but I'm also getting paid. That's what capitalism is at its core level. It's people looking out for their own interest in a sense. And the reason you're here to watch this video is because most likely you want to get knowledge to do something better. In capitalism, it's usually going to be an interchange of services. Always. I do this, I get this. I get this, you get this. It's what it is, okay? Now, if you guys don't know me, my name is TommyBryson, and if you do know me, well, welcome back to the channel. Now, do me a favor and also smash the like button. I appreciate it a ton. Now, the very first thing that they actually do to program you to actually be poor is that you can never get rich or do better in life if you don't have any knowledge. So I don't think for the most part that people are stupid or dumb. I just think that a lot of people basically don't know. And as someone that actually went to college, I'm not kidding, I have my degree right here, and I actually got a bachelor's degree in finance, not in finance, in accounting. The idea is there was nothing that I actually learned about personal finance. Even in my personal finance class, okay, there's nothing about how to manage a budget, how to write checks, how to save money on taxes, how to basically not get into debt. There's none of that. You know why? Because it's not the interest of the college to teach you. They're trying to teach you everything you need to actually be prepared for the job you're actually going to get. Is that wrong? No, that's what you're actually paying for. When you go to high school, there's also nothing on personal finance for the most part, or at least when I was there, I hear they're actually inputting these things in high schools now, but for the most part, not in every single high school. But the idea is the interest of high schools is to get kids to get better grades, perform good at state tests to actually get more funding. Their interest is in not, for example, in having kids know more about money and personal finance, okay? And even at the core level, at the household with your parents, I don't know about you, but my mom only taught me about how to save money. She didn't know about investing or anything like that because no one taught her either. So there's a massive lack of knowledge. And how can you actually do better when it comes to that? The answer is buy those books that are made by people that want to make money off of you, okay? It's very true, So you might see, for example, like authors saying, hey, I wrote this book because of this reason. That's true. There is something to fill, but it's also because they want to make money. Is that wrong? The answer is no. It's how things work, okay? So yes, you should buy some great personal finance books to actually learn the things you're actually interested in. You don't go to dance class and ask, hey, why aren't you teaching me how to sing? That's not what this class is about. The class is about dancing. Same thing with high school and college, okay? So if you got in value so far, I'm gonna ask for a favor. Subscribe to the channel, because only like 20% of the people that watch are actually subscribed. So go ahead and subscribe right now, because I have a lot more content. Same thing with high school and college, okay? You go there, you don't ask, why aren't you teaching me how to do personal finance? It's because that's not why they're there, so you gotta go out there and get the information yourself. One great book I recommend is The Richest Man in Babylon. The book that got me started in my personal finance journey was basically The Millionaire Mind by Edgar T. Hart, okay? Those two books, they're pretty good, and they lead you on to more learning. Now, the second reason and the second way you're actually been programmed to be poor is keeping up with the Joneses. The entire system is set up on individuality. It's set up on status. It's not set up on utility anymore. And here's what I mean, okay? It used to be, or at least as I'm told, that when people actually bought something, it was because they actually needed it. But these days, the things you buy are not based on performance, they're based on status, okay? When you actually go out there and you get a watch, it's not just about the time, it's also about the brand. If it's Rolex, you got a status symbol, it actually means something. When you're buying an Apple Watch, hey, I have an Apple Watch, even though you have other watches that can basically do the exact same thing. Same thing, for example, you have a phone, you have the iPhone, the normal version, but you also have the Pro. And most people that buy the Pro, it's my theory that they actually don't need Pro features. They basically just buy it because they're trying to say, hey, I have the most expensive iPhone out there. Keeping up with the Joneses is basically doing things so people can actually look at you and look at your status. You're trying to have a status in society. But what actually happens is, when you're trying to keep up with the Joneses, you're not keeping up with people. You're trying to keep up with people that are actually trying to market to you. It costs you a bunch of money because you end up, for example, buying things you don't need, buying things you can't afford, and just being stuck paying for them forever. And that's what you actually want to avoid. And this happens at the low level, when you're in high school or you're in college and you're buying things you definitely can't afford, like expensive sneakers and phones. But then it happens at the adult level, when now you're involved in bigger games. Like, hey, I just bought a house I'm going to be trapped paying for 30 years, and I know I can't afford it. I just bought a crazy car with a crazy car payment, and I know I can't afford it. So these things you have to look out for. What's my strategy here? There's a great book on this. It's called Stop Acting Rich, and also The Millionaire Next Door, and they're both by Thomas J. Stanley. And both these books basically teach you, hey, the average millionaire, they drive Toyotas. They buy homes that are less than like 300 to 350K. And then you find out, hey, most people out there that look like they're rich, they're really not rich. And this book, well, these books, they help you understand what it is you actually need to do to be wealthy, okay? Now, number 3, guys, is they normalize things that are not normal. If you're around a bunch of idiots and they're doing dumb things, to them, dumb things are normal. If you're around a bunch of criminals that are robbing people, to them, it's a normal Saturday night, okay? Let's rob some people, okay? It's what happens, okay? So normality is not based on, for example, what's best for you, but it's based on social norms and the group you're actually hanging around with, okay? So what are some things that basically normalize? Well, they're normalizing debt, a lot of debt. Debt to go to college, debt for weddings, debt for buying a home, debt for ordinary expenses, and also debt in everything. And it's not just that. It's not just saying, hey, debt is normal, it's fine, get into debt. But it's also people that are not going into debt, they tell them, hey, you're an idiot, because you're missing out, for example, on points. And you're also, for example, missing out on building up a credit score. And in reality, you don't need any of these things, okay? Because there's a study that actually showed that when people use credit, they spend like around 12 to 18% more money. There's a study on that. And on top of that, when they actually talk about, hey, I'm trying to build credit, you don't need credit to buy a home. I don't know if you knew that, but there's something actually called manual underwriting. So in about a year or a year and a half more, I'm not even going to have a credit score anymore. I'm going to be invisible. Why? Because I don't have any debt. And if I don't have any debt, I can't have a credit score. There's nothing to track. So when I go to the bank, what do I show them? Well, I show them my taxes. I show them my income. I show them my bills histories, and that's basically it. And based on that, they can lend me money. But you actually don't need a credit score whatsoever. Now, why does debt keep you poor? Because the Bible says, the what is it called? The debtor or the debtor is slave to the lender. And it is true. I don't know about you, but if you've ever been in debt, you know how stressful that is to owe people money. And when you actually get paid, most of the money goes out to pay your lenders, okay? It's not a fun experience. You're better off not borrowing money and just basically getting there step by step. And one big excuse I see is basically, well, debt is leverage. And leverage allows you to get things faster. But people don't factor in the risks. So here's my advice. Very unpopular. Don't get into debt. The only thing I would get into debt to actually buy would actually be to buy a home. And even when I buy a home, I wouldn't spend more than a third of my net monthly income to buy a home on a 15-year mortgage. That is the idea, including all the expenses of the home, like the mortgage, the taxes, the maintenance, and for example, HOA, if there is one, and even PMI insurance, okay? If these words, you don't know about them yet, you will know about them when it's actually time to buy a home. If you don't know about them now, just know that I don't recommend getting into debt whatsoever. Now, number 4, guys, is basically conditioning. And we've been conditioned in a way to save up sex for old age. Now, it sounds weird, and it's not my words, these are Warren Buffett's words, but it's kind of very, very true. And this never made sense to me until like right now. And what it basically means is, it's like saving up something for when it's too late. And it doesn't make sense anymore. It's like getting married and saying, we're gonna save up the one great part of marriage for when we're old and we can't really enjoy it. It makes no sense, right? And it's very true. It's what it is, okay? So what I mean is this. How does it make sense to basically work very hard for 45 years, and then when you get to the end, that's when you're gonna start to enjoy your life? That makes no sense, because at that time, you can't enjoy it because you're gonna be spending a lot more time in the hospital. How does it make sense to say, well, I'm gonna spend the first part of my life, my 20s and 30s, just wasting everything away? That also doesn't make any sense. So it's like you have to find a balance and go against the conditioning. For me personally, what worked for me was when I was in college, I spent a lot of my time trying different things out to try to figure out what I like. And once I found what I like, I basically spent time basically doing it and building up to it. It's not, everything is not just based on what's gonna get me the best return, the best job for the most money. It's more about, hey, what do I like and what am I gonna get the most enjoyment out of? What am I good at? And what's also gonna make me money at the same time, even though it might be less money. But it's better to start doing what you like first, to build up in it, to make some decent money, and then build up to greater things, and to say, I'm gonna do things I hate until I'm older, and then once I'm older, I'm going to enjoy it. You don't know how long you're gonna be around for, so I don't recommend that. Now, number 5, and the last one is, the system is set up to use you, to consume you, not to help you. And what I mean is that in capitalism, for example, and by the way, I wanna make this very clear, I'm a capitalist myself, okay? The idea is, you have people that are marketing to you, they're trying to make money off of you. People that are trying to sell things to you, they're trying to make money off of you. You have companies, they're trying to basically hire great employees. You have businesses that are trying to train people to be better employees. It's how the system basically works. The system is not based around, hey, how do we basically grab a person and build them up to be, for example, an entrepreneur or all these other things? The answer is no, that's not what the system is built for. Now, it's not to say also, this is also like a very unpopular idea. I don't think like 90 to 80% of people should be trying to be like entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurship is not probably what you think it is. I'm an entrepreneur, okay? And you go from working a 9 to 5 to working like a 6 to 6, okay? And you better like it, because it's pretty hard stuff and there is risk. So when you see all these people on the internet and they're telling you, I'm gonna teach you how to work with a laptop, how to work from anywhere, you need your freedom. Even those people trying to teach you something, they're also trying to make money off of you. That's how it works. The system is built to basically consume you. It's not built to actually help you in a way. Now, am I against that? The answer is no. It's how it works. But you need to be self-aware. And all of this starts with number 1, knowledge. You need to get more knowledge. The reason you've been programmed, the reason you've been conditioned, The reason you are having poor habits and all this stuff is just basically because you have a lack of understanding about how things actually work. And at the core level, here's my advice for everyone watching this video if you made it all the way to the end, okay? It's like if you get anything out of this video, just get this. To be successful in life, you just need to do these three things. Monkey see, monkey do. Understand that in a way, if a man is able to do something, most likely you're able to do it. Now, I'm not saying that Warren Buffett does this very well. It made him a lot of money, so you do it even though you hate it. No, I'm not saying that, okay? I am saying though that if you're interested in doing something and someone has done it successfully, look at what they did and try to copy them, okay? And learn from them. And it should give you some results at a certain point. Now, number two is not everything that shines is gold. People on the internet, they're always trying to sell you something, always trying to package it up very nicely and shiny. Don't believe everything, okay? And number three is things that are worth it usually take a little longer to achieve. And that's basically delayed gratification. Guys, I hope this video actually helped you. And I hope you walk out of this video understanding how the system's set up, but also understanding that at a certain point, you're no longer a victim, but instead a participant in the system if you don't make changes in your life, okay? So guys, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, hit the bell so you're notified. Thank you for everyone that's basically on Patreon that helps the channel out. So I appreciate it a ton. If you want to join us on Patreon, the link is down below. The